Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Academy Review. I'm back by popular demand. Is David Pritt. How you doing, brother?
I'm not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. We missed you. Me and Alex Baggers had to try and do one last week.
Oh, he did quite well.
Don't
humour
us, mate. Come on. It was an absolute, shambles compared to the usual fare we get with you. But we did our best. But you're back, obviously. But it's a bit of a mixed bag in it this week because we didn't have, was it the under-23s weren't on?
Didn't play.
Under-23s didn't play, but we've got the under-18s. And, of course, we've got the loan watch as well. We're going to be getting into Manchester United's loanees because there's quite a few of the youngsters who are out on loan. So we'll start then with the under-18, seeing as they're the only ones that played this weekend. How have they been getting on?
Well, they played Liverpool away on Saturday, which...
Typical.
Considering the last game where we won 4-3 at home, I thought that would be a great game to watch. Went to tune in. Some highlights on from like 2006.
Why?
Apparently they didn't film it.
They didn't film Manchester United versus Liverpool.
In the under-18 Premier League North, the game of the season.
The game of the season, right, with the future stars of world football playing for United, obviously, and, we'll just not bother taking a camera. What are we? Are we just the dog and duck now? Is this the Red Lion pub team?
They didn't play on the pitch where the under-23s played. They played on the back pitch where I've seen before, and maybe because of all the COVID rules, they just said, no, you're not filming there.
Flipping COVID.
I know. It's a pain in the
everything. Did you find out what went down?
Yeah, we won 1-0.
Fantastic.
Can you guess who scored?
Right, I'm going to do a zig or do a zag. McNeill.
You can't go with McNeill. Yeah. Of course you did. Apparently, it was Charlie Savage cross, comes to McNeill in the box, and then he puts it in. 1-0. That's all you need to do. Beat Liverpool home and away.
Tell you what, right?
6 points.
Charlie McNeill, he scored, what was it, 4 against City? Was it? Yeah. And now against the Scousers as well.
He got one last game at home, and he's got one away. There's a bit of I'd say, moaning. A certain journalist whinging about the under-18s.
Right. We'll go into this. We don't usually give oxygen to people that, can barely spell, let alone write articles. But I saw a tweet that went out, and I think you might have corrected him, where he said it was a Scouts journalist, wasn't it? He was moaning because he got beat.
It could have been.
When I say Scouts, I don't mean he was from the borough of Merseyside or Liverpool. I just mean he, had some sort of affiliation with Liverpool Football Club. But he was saying, we lost, but Liverpool lost, but that was down to the fact that Manchester United had packed their under-18s team with under-23 players, and then someone pointed out that that's not the case. There's a lot. Go on, I'll let you explain.
Well, the under-18s, to play for the under-18s, it's pretty simple. You have to be under 18 or under.
Right, okay. It's a bizarre way of doing it, but we'll roll with it.
I think that's where the name comes from. But I'm not too sure.
Ah, now it makes sense. Right.
So the under-23 players that played were Will Fish, who's 17.
Right, so hang on a minute. I've not got my calculator on, but that's under 18, yeah?
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Alvaro Fernandez, who I think he might be 18, but it's the cut-off date, he's allowed to play.
Yeah.
And Joe Hugel, who's 17. So, they've played for the under-23s, moved up an age group, but they're under-18 players. They'll be put down on their, whatever, when they get United little ID cards, whatever they have. They'll be under-18 players. They won't be 23 players.
They're eligible to play for the under-18s team because they are under-18, or the lad who's 18, is it Fernandez, the lad who's 18, is on the cut-off point.
I think he's 18. He could be 17 as well.
But he's allowed anyway. It's not like he's over age.
No, you're not allowed to play over age players in the under-18.
So he's making his point, well, they're all under-23 players. They're not. They may have played for the under-23s, but that's because United like to sort of push players ahead of their age groups.
Exactly.
We have a lot of sort of 16-years who play for under-18s.
Well, talking of under-16, the bench was completely under-16 players.
So what's he moaning about then?
Just because they got beat.
Honestly. But do you know what? It's just that club, from the top down to the journalists that cover it, all they do is just look for excuses and whinge and moan. If it's not the wind or, I don't know, the grass, then it's, you're playing ineligible players who are actually younger than what they need to be. Talking rubbish, man.
Well, what we mentioned, we won, which that's all that matters. McNeill scored, who he has played for the under-23s a couple of times, but he's
17.
He scored 14 goals in the league so far. He's third in the top scorers. Needs 2 more to be on the top at 16, but I think he can do it.
Are there shades? and I'll choose my words carefully here because I know you don't like putting you on the spot with player comparisons. Is there a touch of the Mason Greenwoods about him in terms of the amount of goals he's getting and how important those goals are as well for the team?
For the goals, yes. I won't compare him as players.
I don't mean, I don't mean styles and physicality and the way they play.
The type of goals are completely different as well.
But in terms of like the numbers,
it's looking good. Like I said, this is his first season though, where I saw Mason at younger age groups then come up, and I think he was 15 when he made his debut for the 18s, and I think just before he turned 16, he scored a hat trick. So it's different, but the fact that he's just come along and he's bringing them goals from City with him. How many was it? 2,000 or something.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. I remember seeing it and thinking it was a typo, and it was something like 700 goals or something, and I was like, well, that can't be true, and it is because he's banging
them away.
Double figures.
Like I say, he scored against
Every
Liverpool
game.
in the home. Well, I call it tie. It was just the fixture.
Yeah.
But it's looking good for the 18s. We're back top on 39 points.
Fantastic.
City are on 36, but they do have a game in hand. If they win their game in hand, we'll be level, but they've got a better goal difference. But
they won't win that game in hand.
Well, it don't matter. I think we still got to play them again, so we'll just beat them then.
We'll beat them now.
Yeah,
honestly,
exactly.
it's rubbish. Manchester is red from whichever way you look at it. Right, so the under-18s, 1-0 win over the Scousers. We'd love to see it, as the kids say. Moving on to the Lone Watch then, because obviously... I'm interrupting you. Got more?
Well, I'm just going to say that this Wednesday, the FA Youth Cup's been brought back.
Sorry, yes.
We were supposed to play Salford the day after... Well, we had it in the week where we were going to play Salford, and then the day before, the FA announced that they've postponed it. But that's going to be played this Wednesday. Another thing, a pain, I don't think it's going to be shown on TV again.
Come on.
This is what annoys me. Before COVID, I was going to most of these games and seeing them live, and I didn't realise that this is how it works out, that they don't put all the games on TV.
Yeah, but you thought, or you think even, that they'd make some changes to that because of the fact that you can't go. But I'm guessing... they don't get massive crowds at these games. You're in a sort of a minority almost of people that, you're in a minority that go to watch United at all these levels. So they probably think, it doesn't really matter, but it's a shame.
Yeah, it is, especially Salford. I mean, I went to watch Salford in the Youth Cup against... I can't remember who it was, but it was like the first round of the FA Youth Cup. Pretty packed out.
Yeah.
And... I think they did film it. I think they put it on their YouTube or website. Maybe, hopefully, that's the way we can watch it. They'll be putting it out on their socials. Yeah.
It's a bad state of affairs, isn't it, when we've got to rely on Salford to film it for us.
But I don't think it's United not wanting to do it. I think it's
not?
Just you can't do it. It's all these COVID rules. It's stupid. But yeah, that's going to be Wednesday at 7:00. So fingers crossed.
We'll try. Dave will try and watch it. If not, we'll at least give you the updates and let you know what went down and who
to
scored.
hire a drone and
yeah, that's a great idea. You might, hire. You can probably get in trouble for that. We'll discuss that off camera when we're allowed to do that, just in case.
And then Saturday, back in the league, they're playing Sunderland at home. That was the fixture that I talked about a few weeks ago, but it got cancelled. But anyway, we're back playing them again. That should be good. I don't know if young Joe Hugill will play against his old team.
Yeah, I mean, he might. Well, let's say he's got a point to prove. They might have a point to prove against him because he was banging in goals for him, left him to greener pastures.
I don't think he will play because the under-23s play the day before.
No.
We're playing Brighton at home at 3:00, I think. So it's up to McNeill. I think he'll bang the goals in against
it's just
Sunderland.
a nice situation to be in, and it's who's going to score all the goals this weekend? Is it going to be McNeill? Is it going to be Hugill?
It's great. We've not got one of it. We've got two of them.
I know. It's amazing. Brilliant. I can't wait for a couple of years' time when they're ready for the first team or in and around the first team.
Hugill, McNeill and Greenwood up front.
I think that's going to be in it. Marcus will just have to.
He can be the manager.
Drop down midfield or something. Yeah, he can be the manager. Stranger things have happened in football. What else have you got for us?
So back onto the loans.
Yes.
First one up was James Garner. He was playing for Nottingham Forest against Watford, who he not long ago was playing for.
Oh, tasty.
Come off from last week where he scored his first senior goal. Unfortunately, he played 90 minutes in a 1-0 loss to Watford. So he didn't really... I'd loved him to
wasn't the sort of the revenge, if you can call it that he wanted. But still, doing well there, still being revered by the Nottingham Forest fans.
Yeah, a lot of fans just think I think a lot of them have said that they're happy that he's there, but they don't think they'll ever see him.
I've seen that,
live in a shirt because they think he's going to be straight back because he's playing that well.
I don't want to get, I'm not comparing the players, I'm comparing the situations. It was a bit like that when Dave Beckham went to Preston, do you remember? I remember Preston fans were raving about him, and I think he played about 5 or 6 games or something. Helped sort of get their season going or turn it around a little bit, getting them towards promotion push. And then we had an injury crisis, thinking Fergie pulled him out, and then they were like, well, we're never going to see him again.
Yeah. That's the thing it's a shame because I don't know what's going on. I mean, last night the first team beat City with who was in midfield, McTominay and Fred. Fernandes played all right, but the fact that Pogba's missing and they're not even trying to utilise someone like Galbraith, if Garner comes back, will he be playing it? It's a thing that must be not annoying, but he's got to worry about Solskjaer, what he's going to do next season with all these players. You'd like to see him play, but like I say, someone like I think Galbraith deserves a shot as well.
You've been banging this drum for a little while, haven't you, Dave? And could understand why, but just explain for people why you think Ethan Galbraith is such a good player and should be someone who you think should be involved in the first team.
Well, he was on the bench for what game was it?
Was it the
Europa League game?
Yeah. Was it the Sociedad dead rubber?
Where Shortire and Amad Diallo came on. Talking of Shortire, even.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that then. I was just thinking, hang on a minute,
he's
Shortire.
Up for Premier League 2 Player of the Month. And I was thinking, when I got told this, I was like, he's not played this in February.
That's how good he is.
He did in the early stages. He scored 2 games, scored 4 goals. So
as you do.
Yeah, one of them a hat trick. So he probably might get it. And if there is a vote, I'm not sure if there is, but if there is, I think a lot of United fans should go and
rightly so. Have a look at that if you can find it. Premier League Premier League 2 Player of the Month.
Anyway, getting back to Galbraith, he's just come on as a player for me. I've always rated him. But the fact now he's bossing the midfield, he's box to box, he's passing, short and long passing with both feet. It really is a joy to watch, and I do think that game they should have brought him on. I just don't understand why they didn't. I know the hype's around Shortire and Diallo because we bought Diallo. Shortire is this young player, make it
coveted as well.
And I think
he's wanted by a lot of clubs. I think
that's the thing. It's not that I'm not probably it's going to come out wrong, but they're not the glamour players, but they're more noticeable with in the papers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they've got stories.
And maybe Galbraith
and ones to sign in and things like that.
But for me, Galbraith, he deserves a shot. I think if we manage to do what we did against Sociedad against Milan, which I don't know if we will, but if we do, why not?
4-0 win. Yeah, against Milan, first leg.
We did that once, didn't we? Darren Fletcher scored twice. So I think I think he should have a shot at some point.
Right, well, hope to see that because, like I said, I've not seen as much of him as you have, but I've been impressed when I have seen him. You've been waxing lyrical about him, and I know you know your stuff. So who knows? Maybe we'll see Ethan Galbraith playing for Manchester United's first team soon. What else have you got for me?
Ethan Laird, MK Dons.
Yep.
Another bad result, 3-0 loss to Wigan, but you did play the 90 minutes.
I'll choose my words carefully here. I'm not overly fussed about the results. I'm more concerned about him getting minutes.
Yeah, and how he played.
Yeah.
I've not actually read the match report yet. I had to quickly check it last night. But yeah, the fact he's playing 90 minutes and you can't complain with him.
The fact with Ethan Laird is it's not about his ability. We know he's got it in his locker. It's about his fitness. The guy has had no luck with injuries. So my main concern with that is how many minutes did he play? Did he finish the game? Did he get through it all right? Because as a youngster, these guys, they're developing, they get injuries a lot when they're that young. Sometimes they can never fully recover.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
And it looks like he is. He's been on a run from the start of the season with MK now. I think he may have missed one game, but I don't think that was down to injury. I think that was just picking someone else for that game. But yeah, he's playing most games for 90 minutes now. Another one, Taif Chong.
Old favourite. He's only a kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he feels like he's been around forever, doesn't he?
How's
he getting on at Bruges? Bruges?
Yeah, he played 66 minutes in a 3-0 win, and for the third goal, he got the assist, so he's providing. And I think last time I mentioned him, he got a goal and an assist, so...
Productive.
Exactly. He's getting in there, and he's showing what he's all about.
Because it's been a bit of a weird one, Matip Chong. We've said this a few times, but we'll just go over it a little bit. Was sort of the golden boy, wasn't it, to a certain degree. I know a lot of eyes were on the likes of Angel Gomez and Mason Greenwood, but Sahib Chong was spoken about very highly. A lot of people like he's going to be the star of the show. Didn't really happen for him when he got his chances for the first team at United. Went to Werder Bremen, good start in pre-season, sort of started the Bundesliga, did well, and then just sort of fell off a cliff almost.
Well, I don't think they didn't seem to play him towards the back end, and I think that's why United recalled him and sent him out to Bruges. And I wouldn't say he's recently he's starting most games, but he's not playing 90 all the time. Yeah. But that might be just a rotation or just the fact that they want to rest him. Who knows? But he, like I say, he is contributing, getting an assist. In a win, you can't complain with that, really. Good
to hear, and I hope that he proves some of his doubters wrong. There's been a few of us, and I myself on the channel have said, I don't know if he's got what it takes to make it a Manchester United football club, but I'd love it if he did. Yeah, absolutely, love to see him come back and prove me wrong, and I hope he does. Any more? Yeah,
Deschamps Bernard, who's at Salford City.
Yes.
They drew 1-1 with Scunthorpe, but he played 90 minutes again. He's their number one defender at the moment. Looking at the formations they play, they seem to be playing 3 at the back with wing backs, and he's in the centre and he's playing 90 minutes every game. So I think they must be more than happy with him, the fact that they're playing him.
That's good. I mean, like you say, more than happy with him. He's getting a game time that you want him to get at a tough level as well.
Yeah.
For a young player like that, you know what I mean? He'll be sort of learning his craft the hard way. And a player that you think he's got much of a chance of maybe coming back to Old Trafford. Where'd you sit with on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, what options have we got in defence at the moment? We've got Bailly, Maguire, and Lindelof.
Jones, forget about Jones.
Mengiu's out on loan, and Bernard.
Xavier maybe.
Yeah, these. I mean, I think there's a possibility of using him. I mean, Tuan Xavier as well. He's played right back as well. And I think Mengi as well. They've done that with him, and so yeah, I think there is an opportunity, but it's just about seeing how he gets on. He's still young, It's not.
I think this is the thing with defenders as well. Is like, you can go away as a defender and you can get a couple of loan moves till you're sort of 21, 22, 23 even, to come back to United and then get you a chance in a first team. It's obviously, it's a position that usually, I know there's exceptions to the rule, but usually it's a position where you don't put youngsters in.
Exactly. You hardly ever see any 18-year-old centre-backs.
No, exactly. Yeah. You're more likely to see an 18-year-old winger or maybe even a striker if it's, someone like a Mason or a Marcus or a Rooney or whatever. But you don't tend to get that centre-back. It tends to be that position where you need that little bit more experience. He's going away to somewhere like Salford, getting that experience, doing well, playing a lot of football. Hopefully he can come back, and it might not be next season, it might be the season after, but we seem to have I don't know where you stand with this, Dave. Do you think we've got the right balance of the players we're sending out on loan, the players we're keeping hold of, and the players we're letting go? Do you think that Ollie's getting that right? Because I know he's quite hands-on with it, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's quite a few out on loan. This, like I say, the way they're using the 23s, that they're bringing 18, like we mentioned, younger players up, I think that benefits them because they're playing against tougher opponents rather than playing against 18-year-olds, you're playing against older players, especially some teams. They've still got players who are 23 there. I just think the problem is people are going to think with like Bernard, he'll come back and then will he be in the first team? Maybe he'll come back and then they'll send him out on loan again next season. You don't know, but if he's happy at Salford at the moment, I think Salford could loan him out for a couple of seasons. Look at Dean Henderson. He was at 2 years at Sheffield United. That's a thing that can happen. If you get a club that wants to keep you, don't mind you having on loan, he could do that, and then he's going to be a bit older by the time he's ready for United.
Good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Any more for us?
Yeah, Alou Traore, he's at Cairn. You're going to have to help me with pronunciation. It's spelled Nancy, but is it
Nancy?
Yeah.
Nancy.
Came on in the 78th minute.
Yeah.
They were already 1-0 down, and that's the way the game ended. He played, 12 minutes plus injury time. He's getting a bit of minutes, but it's not major.
Not really there, is it really? And you want him to get a little bit more time. I know that's not it. It's like, that's that then. But hopefully they'll get some more game time and be involved in a few more important games for the French outfit.
Yeah. You've done this journalism before, haven't you?
Yeah, if you don't know the word, just sidestep it. Who else has been out for us?
Teden Mengu, we mentioned before. He didn't play, unfortunately, unused sub in a 1-0 loss against Coventry for Wayne Rooney's derby.
Yeah, I saw that. What do you think that the feeling is? I think, again, we've spoken about this a little bit in the past, and how with Semenyo a play like that, he might be just using him sort of sparingly, so to speak, because he doesn't want to just throw him in week out in the Championships. Obviously, a very high level young defender like that, it can sort of have a negative effect. I know Mengi will probably be dead keen to start every game, but I think Wayne Rooney's playing a sort of long game with him, which might sound a little bit of a contradiction for a loanee, but maybe he could be there, for the end, not to the end of the season, maybe even beyond.
Yeah, it could be. Like I mentioned with Bernard, you don't see many young defenders, and Tedden's young, so I'm not surprised he's not playing every game. I think he is capable, but I'm not surprised. Maybe towards the back end of the season, they'll play him a bit more. And then I do think he'll probably be loaned out again somewhere. Maybe stay at Derby like you mentioned. But I think he's like with defenders, they need to be not mature, but usually a bit older before we start thinking about them.
It's weird, isn't it? Because like you say, you don't see young defenders coming very often. I mean, I think at United you've had
PK maybe,
West Brown maybe going all that way back. I mean, even like Paddy McNair when he made his day, everyone was like, what's going on here? Van Allen, it didn't really happen for him, did it, at United? Now they're going to get that full back like Cameron Borthwick, Jackson or Tyler Blackett, a lot of them under Van Gaal, of course. But at centre back especially, it's very rare.
Yeah.
That it happens.
But I do think he'll be the one to watch in the future for the centre back role. I mean, he's still young, but he's just a brilliant player.
Is the hype real, Dave? Because we hear a lot about Semenyo. I've heard so much about him, and I've seen a little bit of him myself, not as much as you, obviously. Been impressed with what I've seen, but it's very difficult. I think this is why I like chatting to you, because you watch a lot of these guys, and I think the problem is if you watch 90 minutes or highlights, you go, oh, he's amazing, and then you don't get the full thing where you need to see him over the course of a season.
Is he amazing every game? No, but the games where he is amazing, he's a captain, and he does run that team. When he played for the 18s, even the 23s, and his performance in the FA Youth Cup against Norwich away. I think it was the Youth Cup. Anyway, we played Norwich away at Carrow Road, and it was like a performance like Roy Keane against Juventus. He got us that win.
Really?
Yeah, he really dragged us through it. He got the goal for the equaliser, and that's what I love about him. He's a leader, and he's a tremendous player.
There you go. You can't get a better ringing endorsement than that. Semenyo's like Roy Keane in Turin. That's one of my favourite all-time United performances. So if he doesn't live up to that, I'll be fuming.
It's not Roy Keane's favourite, is it?
No, Roy Keane.
No, Roy Keane's that's the one when he mentioned about the postman.
Yeah, he said, when Fergie said it was like, Fergie wrote in his book a page on it, said how fantastic he was. He covered every blade of glass, won every tackle, all this sort of stuff. And Roy Keane, after he fell out with Fergie, said, well, you don't praise the postman for delivering your letters. Like it was that sort of performance, just delivered some it's
amazing.
It was amazing. It wasn't just about his own performance, it was the way that, I know we're getting a little bit off topic, but just indulge us, Roy Keane lifted everyone around him in the Stade d'Alpe, where Juventus used to play, and helped us get to the Champions League final.
And that's what Mengi did at Carrow Road.
That's exactly, which is the Stade d'Alpe of the of Norfolk. Yeah. Or wherever
East Anglia.
East Anglia, thank you. There you go. Help me out. Anyone left?
Yeah, Jacob Carney, who's at Portadown FC, Northern Ireland.
Is this the goalkeeper?
Yeah, he played 90 minutes. He's played every game 90 minutes this season. They won 4-1, and he presented that game with the Player of the Month as well.
I mean, great to see this young lad doing well. People may quibble, go, Portadown really, is that the level? But goalkeepers are goalkeepers. Yeah. You're saving shots, you've got to learn your craft, commanding your area and all that sort of stuff. And he's obviously doing well. He's picking up player awards. And he's got half an eye on Dean Henderson and thinking, okay, you've got a young goalkeeper, but you've got a goalkeeper who's got himself involved in the first team. So maybe there's hope for us all. Yeah,
he is. That's the thing. Carney is quite young. There's probably Kovar ahead of him and then Henderson. But you've got to look at the long run. Maybe if De Gea goes, we're going to have Henderson, then who's going to be the second? Lee Grant's not going to be around forever, is
Talk of him going into the coaching staff, in there. I think he's already been doing bits with the Matchley.
So possibly Kovar being number 2, and then Carney can look then to be the third choice, and then maybe do a loan. Like last week when I wasn't in, there was Max Taylor played for the under-23s, and I thought they recalled him from his loan because he'd been at Kidderminster and not played. But you see this a lot in the women's game. I've noticed it, but I've never really seen it in the men's, where you're loaned out to a club, but you can then come back and play for your under-23 team, which they're done with that. And you could do that with someone like Carney, where he could be loaned out, but if necessary, he can call back to the first team if need be in the future.
Sounds like a plan. I know he's obviously doing well there and wants to keep an eye on. And I'm grateful that you do. Is that our lot?
That's our lot.
We always end with Carney, don't we?
I know. Well, I always like to get him in.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Because he's always playing, like I say, 90 minutes. He's always rated well. People over there who support Portadown say he's really good, and just play with the month. You got to end on a high, haven't you?
And on a high. That's what we like to do at Stretford Paddock. Dave, thanks for that. Great stuff. Hopefully you'll be able to see the FA Youth Cup coming up next.
On Wednesday.
So
I'll have to buy a big pair of ladders.
Yeah, big pair of ladders. Be careful with that. Or your drone. Where can people find you, mate?
On Twitter, David J. Pritt, and Instagram, David Pritt, without the J.
Nice one. You're going to start, I know I'd ask you this every week. I'm going to keep asking you to start getting your channel back going on again, or what?
I need to do a bit of saving. I need a new computer, so that's
skin here.
Yeah,
sorry about it. It's the way it is. So
lockdown, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's one of them. Make sure you check it out, Dave, on all his socials. You know where to find us. If you're not subscribing to the channel, please do, as well as hitting like and share. That's been Dave Pritt. I've been Jay Motti. This has been the Academy Review / Loan Watch. Thanks for watching.